Shalom, shalom, everyone. This is Chris Shoemaker, also known as Yehuda Ben Shomer, and welcome to the Daily Drosh. Today's Daily Drosh is taken from Psalm 15. Now, Psalm 15 is obviously a messianic psalm, which is alluding to and foreshadowing and pointing to Messiah Yeshua, because he's the only one that can really fulfill the qualifications that's in this psalm. But something jumped out at me the other day as I was reading this, and I think it actually points back to another biblical character. Maybe you've seen this before, maybe you haven't, but I'd just like to share it with you anyway. It says, Psalm 15, a psalm of David. Adonai, who may dwell in your tent? Who may live on your holy mountain? So when we read this verse, we're obviously thinking about Mount Zion, about the Temple Mount, about the mountain where God has chosen to dwell and to put his name. And so it says, who may dwell in your tent and who may live on your holy mountain? And you know, we think of Messiah Yeshua, how he came into the temple and you know, how he was the one that had the right to be there and to throw out the money changers and everything like that. But if you look at this psalm and kind of think back, who does this point to? Adonai, who may dwell in your tent and who may live on your holy mountain? Man, that's Moses. Moses dwelt in the tent of meeting. He even was in the tabernacle because he was a Levite, and he's the one who helped set up the Levitical priesthood in the tabernacle. Who may live on your holy mountain? Moses spent a total of 80 days on Mount Horeb, on Mount Sinai, communing one-on-one with God, communing face-to-face with God, receiving the law, receiving the Torah. And then verse 2, it says, the one who walks. Okay, it's answering the question, right? Adonai, who may dwell in your tent? Who may live on your holy mountain? So it gives the qualifications of who can do these things. And it says, the one who walks with integrity and who does what is right and who speaks truth in his heart. Obviously, this points to Messiah Yeshua, but it also points to Moses as well, because he was a man of integrity, and he did what was right, because he always tried to follow the Torah. And he spoke the truth, even if it hurt or offended the people. Verse 3, and who does not slander with his tongue? Moses never put anybody down. He never slandered anybody wrongfully. You know, even when Joshua was jealous because there was a couple guys prophesying in the camp, and he was afraid they was going to get more attention than Moses, he says, man, I wish everybody could be a prophet. Everybody would prophesy. It says, who does not slander with his tongue, or who does not wrong his neighbor, and who does not disgrace his friend. Man, that's not just Messiah Yeshua, but that points back to Moses as well. And it says, who despises a vile person in his eyes, but honors those who fear Adonai, and who keep his oath even when it hurts, and does not change. Who lends his money without usury and takes no bribe against the innocent, and who does these things will never be shaken. And so I was just thinking that how this is not only a messianic psalm, and it refers to Yeshua the Messiah, who fulfilled this perfectly because he was perfect and sinless, but this is a perfect description of Moses, because verses 2 through 5 describe Moses, and he was therefore qualified because he fit those qualifications to be able to dwell in the tent of meeting, to be able to live for 80 days upon the holy mountain. You know, so, and I love what it says at the bottom. It says in the last verse, in verse 5, it says, one who does these things will never be shaken. So what are these qualifications? What is verse 2 through 5 talking about? It's talking about the heart of the Torah. It's talking about loving your neighbor as yourself, not necessarily loving God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, though that is key, that is primary, but this is talking about loving your neighbor as yourself and loving others. And when you do that, and you do that in the way of Torah, you do that in the way of Moshe, and you do that in the way of Messiah Yeshua, one who does these things will never be shaken, it says in the last half of verse 5. So go out there and love your neighbor as yourself. Go out there and walk in the footsteps of Yeshua our Messiah by walking and following in the Torah. So I don't think it's any coincidence at the Mount of Transfiguration that one of the characters that showed up talking with Yeshua was not just Elijah, but it was Moses. Love you guys. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.